Yuvavani.
Hello and welcome to Yuvavani. In today's episode, we present Miles Away, a feature on the growing trend of young Indians moving abroad for higher studies and career opportunities. This feature is scripted and narrated by Manasa Jayakumar.
Good evening, listeners. Today, we bring you a deeply relevant and emotional discussion, one that echoes through almost every household in Kerala today. Miles away, the greatest migration of Kerala's youth. From airport terminals filled with tearful goodbyes, to parents waiting beside phones for late night video calls, from dreams of Canada, Australia, the United States, and Europe, to the silent loneliness many immigrants carry within. Why are Kerala's youngsters leaving in such a large numbers? Is it ambition or lack of opportunities? A search for dignity, stability, or a better future? Or it is slowly becoming an emotional separation between a generation and its homeland? Today, through stories, reflections, expert observations, and real voices from Malayali youngsters abroad, we explore this changing reality. This is not just a story about migration. It is a story about dreams, about pressure, about identity, and what home truly means. There was once a time when Kerala's migration story mainly revolved around the Gulf countries. For decades, family depended on Gulf remittances. Entire villages transformed because someone worked abroad. But today, the destination has changed. Now the dreams is often Canada, Australia, the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, and so on. Youngsters are leaving not only for jobs, but increasingly for education, permanent residency, and long-term settlement. Walk into any town in Kerala today. You will see IELTS coaching centers, visa consultancies, overseas education agencies, and language training institute almost everywhere. The 2023 Kerala Migration Survey also observed changing migration trends among youngsters, with increasing numbers moving abroad as students and skilled professionals rather than traditional labor migration alone. Experts warn that if this continues rapidly, Kerala could face serious workforce shortages in the future, especially in healthcare and skilled sectors. For many students, studying abroad has become more than an option. It has become a life goal. Some believe opportunities are limited here. Some seek financial independence. Some want better work cultures and social freedom. And some simply wish to escape uncertainty. But behind every successful Instagram story posted from Toronto or Melbourne, there are often untold struggles. Loneliness, debt, cultural shock, survival jobs, mental exhaustion. And yet, the migration continues. Because for many youngsters, staying back sometimes feels even more uncertain. And now, let us hear from one of our young Malayali voices, Swati, currently living in Vancouver, Canada. She speaks about adapting to a completely different culture, climate, and lifestyle.
Hello, my name is Swati Vijay. I hail from Trivandrum. I'm currently living the expat life in Vancouver, British Columbia, a beautiful, beautiful province in Canada. Anybody who is familiar with the place would know it's a lot closer to what Kerala looks like. A lot of trees, a lot of mountains. It's really scenic place to be at. And I had also the reason of it not being too cold to pick the place. It's been 5 years now, almost this summer, and it's been an exciting journey with its equal share of ups and downs. I started this journey at a very difficult time, as everybody would say the same. It was just before COVID that I graduated, and right when it was at peak and airways opened, I decided to pack my bags and fly. It was a pretty daunting journey just because I was on my own doing this treacherous journey at a very difficult time. It was a completely different country. Even though it's been a rough start, I've had my fair share of unsatisfactory days in Canada, but it's only a learning process for me. At least that's what I see it as. It has also given me the pleasure of knowing what a free life is, what freedom is. I'm sure everybody has their own explanation to what this is, but I learned to be accountable for myself, and I feel like that's the best lesson I could give myself. I learned not to perform just because I'm scared of being answerable to someone else. The fact that 5 years and just like the first couple of years had taught me to learn that of myself is the biggest blessing for me. I was able to learn what intuition is and learn to take a big leap. I feel like these are opportunities that I probably wouldn't have found out if I was still in my nest. I would say, as anyone who has immigrated would know, 5 years is very young, but there are people who do 5 years a little bit more gracefully, and I feel like I could have done a better job, and I do beat myself up for it. But I'm learning to be a little bit more easy on myself. I remember, and I still do feel regret for missing out handful of beautiful experiences just because I thought I should use that money for something else or something that I can contribute towards, which was more important. But honestly, if you can afford to, don't pass up on any of these experiences, I would say, and try. That's not what the immigrant life is, and it shouldn't be what it is. And I think what stood out the most about this place is the fact that you can absolutely choose whether you want to keep doing or if you want to change the flow of existence. It's way more difficult when you have to fend for yourself, but you slowly learn the beauty of being your own keeper. So that's all for me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing that honest perspective. What we just heard reflects a reality many youngsters silently relate to today, balancing dreams with emotional and personal sacrifices. Migration today is no longer only a personal choice. For many youngsters, it has also become a social expectation. There is pressure everywhere. If my classmates are abroad, should I also leave? If everyone is moving to Canada, am I failing behind? If I stay here, will I have enough opportunities? These questions shape the minds of many students and young professionals today. Parents too experience mixed emotions. They are proud of their children's ambitions, yet deeply emotional about the distance. Many families invest huge amounts of money through education loans and migration expenses. Youngsters abroad often work long hours while balancing studies, rent, food expenses, and responsibilities back home. The reality is far more difficult than what social media usually portrays. And yet, many migrants still says it is difficult, but it's worth it. Because they feel respected, because systems work better, hard work often leads to stability. So let us now hear another Malayali voice from Canada sharing her journey of adjustment and change.
Hi, I'm Ashwati. I did my schooling from Kollam, Kerala, and did bachelor's from Bangalore University, bachelor's of arts. So Ontario is the province, and Sudbury is the city name, and it's a northern community, which means it's a rural community. So my shift from Bangalore to Sudbury came with lots of culture shock. Weather was a big part. Apart from that, while doing my diploma, I also did part-time job. Financial crunches were in there during my study time. Just few months for my graduation, I landed in this job with Deaf Blind Ontario Service. With that job, in an year, I was able to apply for permanent residency. COVID hit. Residency application was delayed to 18 to 20 months. Once I got my permanent residency, was like I need to act on my plan, go back to university, get my social work. So the social work little different from India. So in India, if you do a BSW or an MSW, you can call yourself a social worker. But in Canada or even for Australia, I think there's a regulatory body. So they will check your credentials and you would be awarded the registration. Only then you can call yourself a social worker. Otherwise, you're not allowed to call yourself a social worker. Say, I had my MSW or BSW. Just because I did the schooling, I can't be a social worker. I cannot practice social work. If I practice social work or if I do social work job, you won't get a job without registration. But say, for private practice, if you are counseling or doing something that is illegal, you can get charged for that. So it was essential for me to get registration. And soon after my registration, I got a job with the government of Alberta is another province, as a social worker. It's not that it's hard to find social work job in Ontario or any other province. Usually social work jobs are considered little easy to find. That's how I became a social worker. Living here in Canada, it's been good. The good things are, if I was in India, I'm not sure how much career wise, how much I would be able to do. But here, I can see the career progression. When you put effort. So when I was doing my social work at university, I was also working full time, which means I had no break. I had no single day off, basically. When people come to Canada, you need to keep in mind that there would be more competition, and in the rural communities there isn't much competitions. There are, but not as much as in Toronto or Vancouver, depending upon people where they want to settle down, where they want to, socialize. All those things plays a crucial role. And yeah, if I had to say something to international students who wants to come to Canada, just look what you want, what you basically want, how do you want your career to be, what kind of field do you want, and how much you can afford, and what course are you going to take. Do your research and just don't go with whatever your agents are saying, because they are making money at the end of the day. You're not, so you need to do your research. Everything is in internet nowadays. If you're okay spending 1 crore, or not even 1 crore, like a decent amount of money for masters, most of the universities, if you go to British Columbia and other places, the fees are not that bad. Probably you need to work a little harder than other people. At the end of the day, if there is a will, there is a way.
Thank you for those heartful thoughts. So, adapting to a new country is not simply about learning a place. It is all about emotionally rebuilding life from the beginning. Perhaps the hardest part of migration is not the weather or even the financial struggle, but its distance. Distance from parents growing older, distance from festivals and traditions, distance from familiar language, food, and people. Today, many parents in Kerala live alone while their children build lives abroad. Video calls replace family dinners, festivals become online wishes, and the airport becomes emotional spaces of reunion and separation. There is also another silent emotional struggle. Many youngsters abroad begins to feel caught between two worlds, not fully belonging there, yet slowly becoming disconnected from here. Question of identity slowly emerge. What truly becomes home after years away? Is home where you were born or where your future exists now? These are emotional realities many migrants carry quietly within themselves. Our next voice is from another Malayali youngster, Ritika, who is settled in Canada. She speaks about why she chose to leave India and what life abroad truly looks like beyond social media.
My name is Ritika Sharma. In recent years, we have seen students, professionals, business owners, and even entire families choosing to settle in countries like Canada, US, United Kingdom, UAE, and Australia. This movement of people from one country to another is called migration. For India, it has become a major social and economic trend. So, I'm going to share my life experience. In 2020, soon completing my graduation, I decided to move to Canada in a city of Vancouver for higher education, as Canadian universities provide advanced research facilities, practical learning methods, global exposure, and better career opportunities. This was one of the main reasons I left India, as country like Canada offer higher salaries, better working condition, advanced technology, and faster career growth. This helped me to get financial stability as I was earning enough money from just a restaurant job that I was able to help my family to pay their daily expense. Not only this, nowadays having one family member abroad is seen as a source of financial security. Moreover, Canada also offer better quality of life. This include cleaner cities, less pollution, peaceful environment, greenery all around, better health care. So, after completing 2 years of my master's, I got approved for my work permit, which gave wings to my career as I got promoted to higher position with high pay. In just 2 years, I got huge confidence and got independent. Still, the journey is going on, but I always feel blessed to take a right decision and to move to Canada.
Thank you for sharing such a genuine experience. So, I think homesickness is also something many immigrants rarely speak about openly. Yet, it remains one of the deepest emotional realities of leaving. Experts increasingly discuss an important concern. Is Kerala witnessing a large scale brain drain? Thousands of skilled youngsters, nurses, healthcare workers, engineers, students, and professionals are leaving every year. Migration certainly brings opportunity, remittances, and global exposure. But it also raises important question. What happens when a society slowly loses much of its young workforce? Who remains behind? Can Kerala create enough opportunities to make youngsters stay willingly? Young people today seek more than salaries. They seek dignity, mental peace, professional growth, safety, and a future state. If these things feel unavailable, migration naturally becomes attractive. At the same time, migration itself is not wrong. Human beings have always moved in search of better lives. The real question is this: can migration remain a choice rather than a necessity? To understand this reality more personally, let us now listen to the experience of a young Malayali living in Canada, speaking about the expectation and realities of a life abroad.
Hi, myself Devin. I'm here to tell you my experience in coming to Canada and staying over here. I came as a student in 2021 through an agency actually. So what I did good is that like did my own research and found the college or university which I want to go to. So then I told them to apply for it. I didn't know that, but when I did my own research, I found out and I found a college is much better area. I made them apply actually. So I made them do all the papers by them. And after that, coming to Canada, I didn't use the help for the accommodation. What I did is that I found my accommodation from India itself actually. It's for Facebook Marketplace. You can change the location from India to Canada. The place where your college is located, maybe like 10 kilometers radius, you can find like I was able to find a accommodation which is like $300 cheaper than the one which my agency suggested. So, and a private room. What agent suggested was like a sharing room, which is like more expensive actually. You have to keep in mind you are paying this much premium, like crazy lot of money for the experience. So don't waste your time in working a lot. Spend your time in enjoying the time in the college actually, because that's why you're paying like this much premium. For example, a person who is born and brought up or who's having a PR or citizen in Canada is paying like when I was studying was paying $500 per subject. I was paying like 1,900. It's like four times higher. So just keep in mind you're paying so much of premium for the experience, so never lose the experience. And once you start working, get your license and everything, and apply for once you get your part-time jobs and everything, do apply for a credit card and build your credit score, because even for anything, for getting anything approved, you need your credit score. You need to have a good credit score. Phone, laptop, or even to buy a car or house in future, you need to build your credit score, so you can slowly build over a period of time. After that, once you finish studying, find the job. Always go for interview. Even if you have a job, still go for interview, find better jobs. It's a very expensive country, like crazy tax. It's like after 100,000, you're paying 45% tax. So before that, yeah, like if a person is making 100,000, you'll be taking home like 65, 70. That's the thing. So make sure that you earn more. It's a really expensive country. That's the suggestion which I can give to a new person who comes to Canada. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravin, for sharing those reflections. That emotional uncertainty between building a future abroad and remaining connected to one's roots is something many migrants continue to carry within them. According to migration studies and recent surveys, Kerala has one of the largest migration population in India. Estimates suggest that over 2 million Malayalis are currently living abroad and more than 15 million Indians are currently living abroad, with migration patterns now rapidly shifting from Gulf countries towards nations like Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Migration is not merely about geography. It's about aspiration, sacrifice, survival, and hope. Every departing flight from Kerala carries hundreds of dreams. Dreams of success, dreams of financial stability, dreams of making families proud, dreams of building a life with dignity. But beneath those dreams, there is also longing. Longing for home-cooked meals, for monsoon rains, conversations in Malayalam, for festivals with family, for a place that still feels like home, no matter how far one travels. Kerala today stands at an important crossroad. Its youth are talented, ambitious, and globally connected. The challenge is not to stop migration. The challenge is to create a society where staying back can also feel hopeful. A place where youngsters do not feel forced to live in search of dignity, opportunity, and stability. Because ultimately, a homeland should not become a place people only return to during vacations. It should remain a place where dreams can grow too. You were listening to Miles Away, the greatest migration of Kerala's youth. Thank you for joining us.
You were listening to Miles Away, a feature on the growing trend of young Indians moving abroad for higher studies and career opportunities. This feature was scripted and narrated by Manasa Jayakumar and edited by Tejas BS.
Yuvavani.